not only have there been new challenges, which would require creativity, frankly, the psychological impact of everything that's been happening, and I'm like, pandemic and beyond, right? It's been something the last year to 50, and so the impact of all of that on people also inhibits any kind of natural, the sort of called natural creativity, right? Because the more we get pressed back into that lizard brain kind of space, is we don't have like the neocortex working so much in executive function and coming up with ideas. So in a situation where creativity is most needed, and where it's harder perhaps to access normally than it normally is, what have been the specific challenges you've seen, right? Like the people coming to you, like looking for answers and looking for help. What have you seen have been the challenges? And if they're kind of aligned with what I just said, where have you started the process of being able to free people up so that they can start to work on things in new ways?
Right. That's an awesome question. So, one of the reasons that creative problem solving works is that when you are feeling fatigued or overwhelmed, or like this is just too much, it gives you really explicit steps, right, to move through. So it's a thing. It's written down. You can follow the pathway to it. So that there's a certain amount of security that comes with that. Part of what we're grappling with in these very uncertain times is negotiating the ambiguity of this time. We don't know what's next. We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know how it's going to affect our jobs, our families. There's a lot of unknown, and it's like, elemental stuff. It's life stuff. So that's super scary. So you do get into that lizard brain, like fight or flight. I can't deal with this. So what the process does is it kind of helps you short circuit that a little bit and say, all right, well, what steps can I take? So a lot of what I've been seeing, I talked to a lot of other nonprofit leaders. So when the pandemic first hit, especially folks like us who do big public events, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have to cancel our conference. Like that's most of my operational income. Am I gonna have to let people go? What does that mean for us? And that was scary. I'm responsible for a lot of folks. And but the great thing was the first thing I was able to do was use creative problem solving. And my coworkers, Beth Slazak, whom you know, and Missy Carvin and Jamie Robinson, we've been practicing creative problem solving to deal with challenges all along. So we were able to be really fluent and nimble with it when it came to this. I said, all right, we're not doing a live conference and we need to keep the doors open. So that's our challenge statement. How are we going to make that happen? And Beth and Missy, they're so brilliant, came together with this design for the conference. We were still going to lose money. I'm like, all right, you guys work on that. I'm going to apply for a PPP loan. I'm going to apply for an EIDL loan. We'll talk to the board. We'll keep everyone up to date on what's happening. And we just kind of divided and conquered, and we're able to walk right into the process to kind of figure that out. So clarifying the problem, ideating on opportunities and new solutions, developing those ideas, and then implementing. Those are the 4 steps of the process.
Yeah.
So I was able to counsel and talk with a lot of other nonprofit leaders. I actually did a friend of mine and I came together to do marketing and fundraising advice during coronavirus that we just offered for free on Fridays when everything first happened, just so we could have a sense of community and what everybody was dealing with. And I gave a few of them kind of free classes and stuff to kind of help them say, there are steps you can take through this. You need to define the question. And really, it's the same thing everybody's been dealing with, just the uncertainty of how all of this is going to work, how the world works now with the pandemic, and we don't even really know what's next. So, I think the concerns I've seen from folks are the same ones most everybody is experiencing. How am I going to continue to have a living? Is my business going to succeed? Is my nonprofit going to succeed? How do I deal with, I'm not a safety person. How do I deal with safety and public gathering? Should I go virtual? Should I not? All of that, and dealing with all the personal emotional stressors has been wildly challenging. We talk about it a lot. So that helps, but I had staff meetings on Tuesday and I talk to each of the members of the team individually first. And I always open up saying, so how are you? And everyone's like, like we can't really answer. I got a roof over my head. I still have a job. Like all that's really good, but it still feels really weird. So I think, this is a very long way of me saying that the cool thing about a creative problem solving process is it gives you kind of something to hold on to when everything feels crazy. When you feel like you're in the middle of a hurricane, it's an anchor to hold on to. And it gives you an explicit pathway to move through whatever is challenging you and get to a solution that's workable.
Yeah.